Football, by the hell.
Old Trafford, this is the theatre of dreams. Will you please welcome...
Hello and welcome to the Busby Way podcast. It's episode 9 and unfortunately it's not a good one. Week is a long time in football, and in this last week we've lost a manager, we've got players coming back from AFCON, and we're also outside of the FA Cup. It's been an emotional week, but here to tackle it with us all is Brad. Brad, how are you getting on, mate?
I've had better days, I've had better weeks, but we moved, you know what I mean? It's been shite, hasn't it?
Yeah,
It's been shite. Let's have it right. 99 shots against Burnley, didn't win. As many attempts as we had today, we never really looked like winning the game. Fuck Diego Dalot fucking taking shots in the first couple of minutes.
So are you back on the I hate Diego Dalot bandwagon?
No, I don't hate anybody. Hate's a strong word, mate. Yeah. Hate is a strong word. But fucking hell, chip it over the cunt. Do you know what I mean? Like, chip it over the keeper. It's not difficult.
Yeah.
My 13-year-old is looking at that going, why has he not dinked it? Why has he not dinked it? No composure. Zero composure.
Yeah, well, it has been a bit of a frustrating day, obviously. And obviously, for those listening who aren't aware what day it is, we have just coming off the back of getting knocked out the FA Cup by Brighton.
Yay! Yeah. 40 games this season for Manchester United, the lowest in 111 years. What a load of shite.
Yeah, unbelievable. Like, where do we start with that game? What went wrong? Did Darren Fletcher get anything wrong? Did the players get anything wrong? Tell me a bit about what was the issue with today.
I think the issue with today is that we sacked a manager last week playing one system, and we've gone, oh, we can magically play 4-3-3 again. There was gaps everywhere. You could have drove 3 double-decker buses through our midfield today. We couldn't press them. We couldn't close them down. You know, ultimately Brighton switched it on in the second half. You know, the first half they were there for the taking in the first 10 minutes, and then they get their goal. But it was poor. What did you think?
I thought it was awful game, to be honest. Like you said, I thought we started off the first 10 minutes really sharp, really lively. I thought, oh, maybe Fletcher's kind of galvanised these guys, got us going, and it was just more of the same. Everything's changed, but nothing's changed. Do you know what I mean? Like, so much has changed last week, and we just find ourselves in that position where we make life difficult for ourselves. The players we've got aren't bad players, but it just feels like everything is just complicated.
Everything's complicated, and the players that were doing well under Amorim aren't doing as well, you know, now. So I've mentioned to this you before, but you know, Martinez for me had a poor game today. He doesn't track second man runs. WELBECK nearly scored his first with the second man run in the first half. He doesn't go with him. And he was just so tentative on the ball today. He was on the pitch far too long. I thought we should have brought on Maguire earlier or Aiden Heaven. But, you know, it's just bad. What did you think of the Butchers before?
I thought, yeah, like you said, I do think he's a good player. I know we have probably different opinions on it, but I thought today was weak, a very weak performance by him. I thought when Harry Maguire came on, though, what I thought was going to be, it was a reverting back to last season, was like put big lad in box and just hoof it up. And I feel like credit to Fletcher, he stuck to his guns and kept him in defence. But I think last year, like that's how we were getting back games, throwing him in. But yeah, Martinez just did not step up.
No.
And I think with Bruno being out, he got the captain's armband a bit, and maybe he was overcompensated, tried too hard, but he just wasn't at it today.
Yeah, and I think with Martinez, the issue is, in the system that he was playing previously, he can jump into midfield, he can spring out, make a tackle. Today, he was always about 5 yards off it. Do you know what I mean? He was allowing the Brighton players to take a touch and turn. Jorginho Ruta had more time than anyone that I've seen as an attacker at Old Trafford to get the ball and turn and pick a pass.
Yeah, he rooted Martinez.
He rooted Martinez. Lol. Lol.
But yeah, I think defence just didn't look sure today. I think there was four
Luke Shaw.
Yeah, no Luke Shaw, obviously. And I think that was with one eye on next week's game. But I think the back four, it looked good on paper, but it just was not good. And is the defence issues today, is that going from one system to another?
No, at the high end of elite level sport, you have to have all of the things working in all of the places. And I think today that we were just short in a couple. I thought Cunha didn't have a good game. I thought he gave the ball away quite a few times, heavy touches. I actually liked Patrick Dorgo today. I thought, my highlights were Dorgo and Yoro. I thought Yoro wasn't bad, obviously.
Sesko did okay today. I thought his movement was actually pretty good. I think they didn't carve out many chances for him, but he looked sharp and he looked like late, and I'm glad he got his goal.
Yeah, the one sort of positive from this system is you can already see the green shoots of, Bruno in a 10 makes more chances than he's been doing. These aren't half-cut chances. These are big chances that he's making. So, what was it? Bruno's assist as well. Bruno's assist for Sesko. But look, it's very hard to find a positive out of that game. I think it's you can't go out of 2 cup competitions in the first round and think the positives there. We've already said that the squad lacks minutes in the sort of the outer layers of the team. So your likes of Mainoo, your likes of Heaven, your likes of Dorgo, who previously wasn't a starter. They weren't getting a load of minutes, and now they're going to be called upon in the next few weeks, and we've not got a game a week. We've not got 2 games a week, sorry, so it's quite poor.
Okay.
Quite poor from the club.
Very, very poor. And I think obviously being outside of Carabao, no Europe, no FA Cup now, would you say that season over? Would you say literally? Are we
look, we're 7th, joint 7th, we're 6th in the league. We've got Champions League places to fight for. We'll go again, but it's just all our eggs are in one basket. And we're shit at making omelettes at the minute. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, them first 2 eggs have got Man City and Arsenal written on them as well. So,
what a horrible way to lead into that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sorry, mate, but that's the problem. Is like we put ourselves in a good position and we have not capitalised on it over the last 3 months. We had games against what we consider lesser teams that we've just thrown away, and we've drawn Wolves, West Ham, Everton, all these kind of games we should be getting points from. We haven't. We had a great opportunity to put some daylight between us and other teams, and we've just let it slip through our hands. And now the bigger games are coming at us thick and fast. I can't see us crawling up the table as well as we did.
Pep Guardiola said the other day, quite cheekily, without those draws, they'd be level with Arsenal. That's what Pep said, and it's, he's just dropped another 60 million in the transfer market again. And I said this on the previous pod. We've replaced the manager instead of buying players, and it was there for all to see today that we need a winger. Shea Lacey came on, and came on, came off. Simon Hooper. Looking at you, Simon Hooper, what a knob. Anyway.
Fair enough. He's a big fan of the pod. I'm not sure if he is anymore. But no, I thought he had an awful game.
He's a big fan of fucking pies. That's what he is. He looked like he was struggling today, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I'm giving him that. Got Salzburg's
business shouldn't trade stones, but elite referees shouldn't look like that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But there we go.
But what do you reckon about his game today? I thought he just gave some odd decisions throughout.
Odd decisions. So in the first half, there was 4 shirt pulls on United players in offensive positions and no yellow card. Then all of a sudden, Kobbie Mainoo in the second half takes down WELBECK, first yellow card. I've seen the second goal again, and to me it looks offside. Obviously no VAR, but you kind of understand why he sends Lacey off. But the first tackle, he doesn't actually make much contact, and then to send an 18-year-old off for dissent, it just stinks of here's my moment to shine. You've not shone, you've just shown yourself up to be a big prick.
Fair enough. And I think obviously with that Shea Lacey talk about him coming on, there was a lot of talk before the game like wanting to see him. I personally
he looked good, didn't he?
Yeah.
He looked really good. The first thing he did was set up a chance for Sesko. And then they doubled up on him. And we gave him the ball in some tight areas, and he kept the ball quite well. But you could tell he was getting frustrated as well. But it was the point where we just got the goal back, and it kind of let the air out of the balloon, didn't it?
Yeah. I thought it was quite telling though, like when he came on, it lifted the atmosphere. Everyone in the crowd was lifted, but it felt like he was our only outlet at that point. It was like everyone was like, Kuhn would get it and be like, right, where's Shea? I'm going to look for him now. And it felt like we were putting a lot of responsibility on his shoulders, but he didn't look like he was folding.
Yeah, he didn't look like he was folding on it. And I've sort of had a lot of time to reflect on what got Ruben Amorim sacked. And for me, what got Ruben Amorim sacked was the fact that he didn't use the youth team correctly. You know, against Leeds, we're chasing the game, we drop points, we've got tired players on the pitch, and you've got Shea Lacey on the bench. We've already seen in the last 2 games him coming on. He's made a positive impact. I mean, against Burnley, he hits the crossbar and then hits one that just goes slightly wide, but he makes something happen. But if you're not taking those risks and throwing the young players on, that is what Manchester United is all about. And the manager obviously just didn't get that. So for me, that's a sacking offence alone.
Yeah, and I think what he did was he came out and he did say some disparaging things about the youth team. He said, like, obviously a lot of them are entitled and stuff.
Yeah.
But what was good was Dan Fletcher's press conference on Friday saying that no, he's back in the youth and he thinks there's a lot of potential there. So
I think Fletcher has done well with what he said, but honestly, it's almost like he's been given an open goal by Amorim to knock that ball through the net. You know, anyone can come back in and say, you either pick the Ragnick pill or you pick the Fletcher pill. Do you know what I mean? You either say the world's on fire and it needs open heart surgery, or you try and build these players up. Now, the thing that makes me positive for the future, it's not the fact that Ollie will probably come in. It's not the fact that any of that stuff. It's actually the people around it are putting an arm around these players, and I think that's what they need right now. We've had the school teacher mentality of Amorim and giving everyone a rocket at the arse. Now they need an arm because we're not out of it. You know, it's not like it was last season where you can write us off in February because we're 10th in February or whatever it was, and we just played for the Europa. I think there's an opportunity for us to get Champions League, and you know, hopefully we can. What do you think, Jumbo? Jumbo first. Oh, gently me.
Yeah, I think the proof's in the pudding. If you're going to say I'm back in the youth, you've got to play him. And luckily, they stuck to his guns and did that. Whether or not they'll get these opportunities when Ahmad and Ben was back in the squad is a different story. But I think he has done well to get him in. And to be fair, they've stepped up as well. But one of the players who I felt, do you feel they stepped up today? Kobbie Mainoo got his second start. I thought he did okay.
I think he did okay. I think we missed Casemiro in the midfield. I think, to be honest, Kobbie did okay, but Ugarte was better. Like the player that has stood up in the last 2 games and who's been positive in the midfield is Manuel Ugarte. I think we're seeing now why he needs to be in a midfield 3. And actually, where I've been crying out for a destroyer and a believer and everyone like that, I don't necessarily think that's the priority at the moment. I think Ugarte has given me a little bit to go off. Yes, I would still like Belieber, but Ugarte has got a bit of something, and I think, you know, it would just be Man United to throw him away at the end of the transfer window, you know. But he's doing all right. Kobbie Mainoo, to answer your question, Kobbie Mainoo did okay. Green shoots.
Yeah, I think definitely would like to see him play a bit more, get a bit of a run going and see what he's about. But I felt I kind of. This is the thing with Mainoo, because we've not had him, and I think this is true with most footballers. Whatever's not on the pitch is exactly what you need.
Yeah.
Like if you're not playing players, like, oh, if he was playing, we would have had a well better game. Like it's just always what seems to happen, and I think Mainoo's been lumbered with that. So I felt like there's a lot of pressure on him to perform, but I think what he did was fine, and it was okay, and it's okay to just like kind of get yourself up to speed.
What he did was fine, and what I'd like about Kobbie is he receives the ball really well and keeps it, and then progresses the ball quite well, which is what you need in a midfield 3, right? You can't. My one question mark over Mainoo is his ability to stretch the play with a long pass. You know, that is my one question, which I think he needs to work on and develop. Because we saw him try and clip a ball over the top and it gets cut out. He really does need to be able to find that killer pass, because that will turn him from what is a good midfielder to a long-term Manchester United midfielder.
Yeah.
Although anyone can play in this team because it's shite.
It's weird though because none of the players is shit, but we are.
I know.
It's it was a tough watch today, and I just felt like we didn't get going. And even when we got that goal back, I was like, we're still not going to.
Fucking 35-year-old Danny Welbeck has just made us look average. Do you know?
But yeah, but Welbeck puts a lot of teams to the side.
I know. I love Danny Welbeck. I would, in a heartbeat, sign him. In a heartbeat,
We
always.
were linked to him a couple of years ago, weren't we?
Yeah, he was going to come back, but Ten Hag.
Mm.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but that's it. And ever since then, I think he scored past us in every game.
Oh yeah, there's something like that. He's got 9 goals in 18 or 19 games, which is, 1 in 2.
I'm still dubious about the free kick he scored this season though, because where the kick was taken and where the foul was. I'm not going to let that go. If it was the only
Was it the same referee as well?
it might have been
I
probably.
think it was.
Was
I
it?
think it was Simon Hooper again.
Was it?
It's Simon Hooper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad.
There you go. Get spirit. Come
Go-
on.
Anyone else? Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Let's get ourselves libelled.
Almost went down the David Coombs territory there, but I decided to swerve it. But yeah, out of the FA Cup, poor showing there. We don't even get the opportunity to avenge Grimsby. I was kind of hoping we.
Oh, mate, we need to stop talking about Grimsby because that is grim, innit?
Yeah,
It's grim.
So it obviously is not as bad as the Grimsby one, but no cups this season then, unless something mental happens. No pots this year.
No pot. There's definitely no pots.
Yeah.
There's definitely no pots. It'd take Arsenal have probably got I think Arsenal have got the strongest squad in the league. Arsenal are flying. What a lovely cup draw City got, and what a lovely cup draw bloody Arsenal got. Portsmouth and Exeter. We could have done.
I mean, we probably would have struggled against them as well.
No, I think we would have beaten Portsmouth or beaten Exeter. Although I did like the press from Portsmouth. There was a good game. It was a very, very, very good game.
Did you watch much of the Macclesfield game?
Oh, one of my mates is a Macclesfield Town fan, and actually, I watched the game, and yeah, I was half of ex-United players. If you wanted to see, where Louis van Gaal's fledglings were, Tyler Borthwick Jackson came on and left. Though we've got Mellor as well was up top. Mellor was up top. And then John Rooney is the manager, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's it. And Wayne Rooney was there crying.
Yeah, he was crying. He was crying.
Well, I think he would have been crying if he was watching this match today. I think also going forward, looking at the fixtures we've got coming up, I've kind of touched on it before.
Should we do our City predictions, yeah?
City predictions, yeah.
What are you going for?
Oh, mate. 1-0 win to us.
1-0 win.
Confident. Ben just laughed at me. I just heard a sniff.
No, Ben's laughing.
Yeah, fair.
Look, Cal, you're a Blackburn Rovers fan and you got beat as well today, so you can't fucking laugh, mate.
Yeah.
So there we go. Manchester United against Manchester City. Ahmad's back. Mbuemo's back. We might have a new manager bounce.
Yeah.
We might have a little bit of new manager bounce.
Yeah. You reckon Ollie's going to be at the wheel for that?
I don't really care, to be honest.
Yeah.
Carrick, Ollie, I just want to see our team play well. So whoever can magic it up, that's good. I mean, what's his name? Wilcox might show up. Of all the chat of, I feel like I'm more of a coach. I think he fancies himself as it. You know what I mean?
He definitely does. In his bedroom, he's got a little Subbuteo table set up and he's there flicking going, come on, playing in his little pajamas.
But, there's been a lot of heat about that. There's been a lot of heat about one comment that he's made. And all I'll say is Manchester United have been crying out for a technical director for years and years and years. And I don't necessarily think he's doing a particularly rotten job. I think the players that we bought in this year are good. I think I want somebody to care about the style of play. I want somebody to care about how we're doing rather than just being a yes man. So I'm not one of these people who are going to turn on Jason Wilcox just yet. I think he needs to get the next manager appointment right, 100%. I do think it's the right idea to get an interim in because the manager market will be a lot more advantageous in the summer. Tuchel knocking about, Glasner,
He's out of contract.
Ancelotti. Who do you go for out of those three?
Out of them three, I go Ancelotti.
Don
I
Carlo.
love Ancelotti, but it would just break my heart to see him doing a press conference afterwards, explaining why we got beat by Ipswich. Do you know what I mean? I think just seeing Ancelotti trying to have to explain that would kill me a little bit inside. But I think, like you said, in the summer, the managerial merry-go-round is looking nice. Like you said, Tuchel, Pochettino, Ancelotti, like Unai Emery, you might even go.
Stop it. I do not want that Gareth Southgate anywhere near Manchester United. I would not go.
Could you think of any pros to Southgate being a United manager?
Nope.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. It's been a good one.
Absolutely zero. Gareth Southgate is a very nice man, and he looks after players really, really well. But he ruined my summers, so he can fuck off.
All right, okay. So him and the referee.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. We go down the interim route.
Yeah.
For the rest of the season, it seems like the three suspects are Fletcher, Solskjaer, and Carrick. I think Fletcher's name probably out of the hat after today. Who do you?
I don't know. I think Fletcher, for me, from what I hear, Fletcher does a lot of the training sessions as well. So Ollie didn't do a lot of the sessions. Ollie Solskjaer is more of a manager. Carrick does a lot of sessions. I think there is a possibility that all three are as part of it, and ultimately I'm not bothered if all three go in and are part of it, to be honest. I'd rather there's more cooks, you know what I mean? Because you think we've got rid of Amorim, but we've also got rid of all his backroom staff. Who's going to be the person looking at like corner kicks and stuff like that? We had our specialist set piece coach, the one positive coach, that Carlos Fernandes, who was really good. He's gone, so we do need a coaching staff. We can't just leave it down to one man or two man.
We could just ask him if he's left his notebook knocking about. Just lend us your note.
Can I have a playbook?
Yeah, just borrow that, please, mate.
Can we borrow it?
Yeah.
So the Arsenal City game.
Photocopying. Yeah, I think there is going to be a new overhaul. I think personally I think Solskjaer might be the man for it. I think the only problem is United obviously have been a laughing stock over the last couple of years, and I think you revert back to Solskjaer and that doesn't pan out.
But we don't give a fuck about what other people say.
I don't know. I feel like Solskjaer's reputation would be absolutely hammered by it.
I don't think he'll care because he just wants to help the club, right? So the club are in need, and Ollie is, put a call in. For me, that's the mark of the man. It didn't end well for him, but I tell you what, it wasn't as bad as what we've seen since.
No, I don't think so. I think with Ollie, he had a really good run, a solid run, second and third, and then we rocked the boat massively by getting Ronaldo in. And I think that decision to get him in, obviously it was made for the right reasons, but it just didn't allow him to do what he wanted with that team, I don't think.
So we were a high pressing team that needed a defensive midfielder. So what we decided to do was buy a striker that can't press.
Yeah, I think
that's exactly what we did.
It's a ballsy tactic.
It's a ballsy tactic. It's almost like saying, right, okay, we're having beef for dinner, but do you know what? I've brought pork instead. Yeah. Like, it's...
Do you ever see that clip of someone passing to Ronaldo and it's about 20 yards in front of him and Cavani runs 50 yards?
I loved Edison Cavani, and that just made me love him even more, but... You got to think, since Ollie's left, the people that we've signed defensive midfielders. We signed Casemiro, we signed Ugarte.
That's it. But if he comes back in, he gets the defensive player he wants. But is he attacking players? Are they as strong as he had? So you think about it, he had Martial, he had Rashford, we had Greenwood for Sancho. We had a lot, and obviously Sancho didn't work out. But he had a really good, strong line that he wanted. Now he comes in. Do you think he could do a number with Cunha, Mbemo, Sesko?
I think Cunha's really good. Mbemo's really good. Amad's really good. I think Sesko has proved in the last couple of games that you feed him, he'll score. 3 goals in 2 games under Fletcher, playing 4-3-3. That's a positive stat to look at. I think against Manchester City this weekend, this coming Saturday, we're going to be devoid of the ball and we're probably going to be playing in a low block, right? Which means that Sesko is going to have to counter-attack. And that's what Manchester United against City, where we were where we got results, we sat back and we countered.
Do
I
we-
think we need to do that with Ahmad and Mbeumo, Sesko, Cunha.
Do you think, yeah, so do you think like the Liverpool game that we had earlier in the season, we sacrificed Sesko and played Mark there for more pressing to try and get the ball back?
No, to be honest, you don't do that to Sesko if he's after his hottest goal scoring streak of the season. You know, 3 goals in 2 games. You can't then throw him on the bench. That's not what that's not what it's about. You let him go again and go on a run, you know, or potentially go on a run. I don't necessarily think we're going to be turned over against Manchester City. I think we'll obviously change tactic. We'll obviously drop behind the ball, but it's what we do with the likes of Mason Mount, because I think today Mason Mount, whilst he worked his socks off again, it just doesn't work in the wide area for him on the right in particular. I thought he was a bit of a spare part in that first half.
Yeah, it wasn't his best performance for us
No.
in that system, but he was too wide. He wasn't getting the ball where he wanted it to be, and he just looked like it was a misused part. Essentially. And it's a shame because I think he can offer the team a lot more than what he was doing today.
He can offer the team a lot more, and you think you've got likes of Ahmad to come back in and Mbeumo to come back in that position, you wouldn't necessarily suspect that he'll play there again. But he brings a lot to the team. He brings a lot of energy. He can press well. It's whether we see the pivot of Bruno and Casemiro against Manchester City with Mount in front and Cunha to the left. That's bringing fear into my eyes thinking about that, to be honest.
Well, it's not all negative, obviously, today. Well, it is all negative, but we're trying to put a positive spin on it. It's all gone to shit, mate. It's all gone to shit. Terrible time to start a United podcast. But I think looking at it, we have got Ahmad, we have got Brentford coming back. Obviously, they've been knocked out of AFCON, but it's great for us to come back. Do you think we've seen the end of Ahmad playing on right back?
No.
So you think he's still sitting back?
I'd play him right back over Dalot. Do you know what I mean? The positions that Dalot was getting in today, right? Ahmad can defend, right? Yeah. It's not as if we're using Dalot's long throw anymore. There was an opportunity to have a long throw in the last minute of the game. He didn't run across and take it. I thought, that's a bit of shit. You know, so why not play? Why not play Dalot, Ahmad there?
Well, Ahmad and Mbeumo on that wing have linked up well all season.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it'd be good to see him get that through. I've just got a feeling he's going to be playing further up the pitch now.
Well, we don't know what it's going to look like. You know, hopefully they've come back injury free. You know, Ahmad scored quite a few goals in AFCON, so he should come back positive, even though they had, you know, they were knocked out.
Fucking hell, knowing how look at United, he'll fucking get injury and duty free on the way back. The way the season's gone.
Christ on a bike, please, no more pain.
Well, he's doing up SIGs.
It's genuinely been one of those weeks where you just kind of want it to end. But it's like you go into January thinking new year, new me and all that shit. And then, you know, come the 11th, you're a manager down. No wins.
United lately have felt like that Simpsons episode where Sideshow Bob stands on a rake and then he turns around and stands on another rake, smashes him in the face. That's just what it's been like for the last month or so.
Up and put aside.
Yeah, that's it. But it has been awful. And I think the thing was, before we had this run where we didn't step up, we had a very difficult run, which included Liverpool in it.
And we
did okay.
You know that the players have got it in them, right? And they've got the pride in them. It's just, if we get 2 wins against City and Arsenal, right, and we're back in the position, you think it almost angers you even more, you know, because like you say, we've had games where we should have just crushed the opposition. You know, Wolves, fuck me, that was horrible.
Yeah, but I also think that we step up against teams that we shouldn't beat, but the teams that get that are perceived to be lesser than us, I think they go into these games thinking they can win and knowing that they can win and get points against us. And I think that's what it is. I think years ago these teams would probably fear us a little bit, and I think we're underestimated by the bigger teams and probably like.
I think we need to make Old Trafford a little bit more scary for these away fans. You know, maybe we need to bring back some sort of, make them all walk in a single file down the big road.
Play the Barney Fleet theme tune on loop in there.
Rosie in fireworks off everywhere. You know, a bit of but we're struggling at the moment, and we don't know when the next positive moment is going to come from. But look, it's the hope that gets you, right. We go into the derby not hoping that, well, with no hope. But if we get a result, we'll be happy again, right?
Yeah. I'm expecting a miserable podcast next week, though, to be fair.
Another methadone pause.
Yeah, Jesus. Yeah.
A bit like this one.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, this has been slightly more upbeat than I thought it was going to be.
I know. I get jokey when I'm angry.
Yeah. You like me when I'm angry. I get jokey when I'm angry. Yeah, I don't know. I think we was all in here before, a little bit low, listening to the Smiths crying. Everything was in black and white.
Oh, see, fucking.
But yeah, it was an awful day at the office today. The one thing that almost happened today that would have been quite cool was obviously JJ Gabriel from the youth team, 50-year-old.
Yeah.
It's like ineligible for the Premier League, but he was eligible for the FA Cup.
Yeah.
So I was kind of, I didn't think he'd get on the pitch, but I was like, it'd be interesting to see if he makes it into the squad and just be like,
No,
He's a
I'm
bit
glad.
behind.
I'm glad that we didn't, because like JJ has got the world ahead of him, you know. And if he keeps his head on his shoulders, he'll be a top player for Manchester United. However, I don't want a situation like's happening at Arsenal. Max Darwin goes into the first team at 15. You've not seen him for a couple of months. He's been injured. The expectation when he comes back in is going to be higher. The pressure of coming back. Young players don't need that. You've already seen what's happening with a 19, 20-year-old Kobbie Mainoo. You know, why do we have to put these players through unnecessary pressure too young? I think give it a couple more years with JJ, and he will be some player.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. He's absolutely smashing it in the league. I think second top goal scorer, and he's youngest by like 4 years. So puts us all to shame, doesn't it? What were you doing when you were 15? I wouldn't even want to tell you.
I can't even mention it on this
Yeah,
podcast.
thank fuck we didn't have ring doorbells or social media when I was 15. Jeez,
Thank you
Christ.
for that, yeah.
But this podcast has been cancelled before it started.
You were playing knock a door runaway. You were getting caught. Knock knock.
Yeah, I'm not even going to go into past discrepancies here. But yeah, I was a little shit. But yeah, I think it would have been good to see. I think it would have been good for him to be in the match day squad, not necessarily play though. I think it'd be good to be around the first team. I think it's a good. Basically, there's other teams are going to come sniffing at him, and it's good to stay around Ted going. We feature you in our future plans, and then also as well, it kind of like you said about Max Dome and stuff, but. Also, there's talk when like Rio went to Euro '96 and plays like that around the England tier stuff.
I think it does help Theo Walcott.
Yeah, Theo went. I think Sven had a fucking few sherries that morning. But
That's what I'm trying to get into his mum, like.
yeah, could do great things.
More like Sven, do you know what I mean? He loved the ladies, didn't he, Sven?
Mrs. Walcott, I could make your son's life very easy.
Oh God rest his soul.
Oh,
God rest his soul. All right.
Yeah, I always felt with that Darren Ben got the shitty end of the stick. I think he bagged like 20 goals. I think it was the highest scoring Englishman in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And then when they announced the squad, our second choice striker had just as much Premier League experience as me. So I always think
Darren Bent was some player, you know. I think, but look at that now, right? How many Darren Bents are there in the Premier League? There's not that. If you think just looking ahead to the World Cup, Danny Welbeck for me has got to be in that squad. You know, he is the next man behind Harry Kane for me. You know, he bags some fantastic goals. He's consistent. He's got over his injuries that blighted the younger part of his career, and that's probably why he's able to carry on and be as athletic as he is now, because he didn't play much football between the ages of 23 to 26. So I really want to see Danny Welbeck in the England squad in the summer. One last big hurrah for Danny.
the last ride.
It
It would be amazing to see him back in that England squad.
would.
But I think there's obviously other players. Ollie Watkins just started coming to a bit of form. Calvert-Lewin out of nowhere is because I meaned him in the summer saying, "Come here, link to him," and I'll be like, "Fucking, I'll take 1 or 2 of his goals."
Calvert-Lewin, he's one of those really frustrating players, isn't he, where you think, where if he stayed, he went on a big run for Everton I think it was when Ancelotti was manager.
Yeah, we were linked with him.
But he's one of those where he'll go on a hot streak and then he won't score for 20, you know.
Have you seen his heat map? for his goals, his last 7 goals. The furthest one out is the penalty spot, which I think was a penalty, and everything else is a straight line to about a yard out. That is fucking beautifully. Yeah, he's got a Brazilian strip.
What's your favourite heat map ever? Mine, Gerrard. Steven Gerrard's. Yeah, that's the best one.
Yeah, left a few studs on Herrera and then said,
Steven Gerrard, his last hurrah at Anfield against Manchester United, big captain, coming back on, off straight away. You fucking inject that in my veins. We need something like that. We need something like that to happen on Saturday. We need a Man United performance.
was it the last City game we played? It was really disappointing. We didn't get one yellow card in that game. That was the game we were so limp in that game, and we didn't.
It was when we were limp.
Yeah, was it 3-0 it finished? I can't remember, but we didn't get any yellow cards, no fouls, and I think the next week, I think after that, we had a bit of a rallying cry to get stuck in on players, and we went on that little.
Well, if Simon Hooper's the referee, do you know what I mean? We'll be getting yellow cards for fuck all. We'll be sending off.
Off City.
Well, but come on, let's have the charges come out before the derby. Come on, let's have something. Let's have something, happen in our favour. Do you know what I mean? Let's have something
I
going.
think that's the only thing that could go in our favour. With all the charges, Haaland gets drug tested, and the kids get sent to the.
I can't say a bad word about Erling Haaland. I was having an argument with one of the lads on Sky on when we were down there, and he basically he was saying he's just poorer version of X, Y, and Z player. I'm like, he's literally the best striker in the world, most consistent. Oh, he's made City play worse. No, he's not. Anybody would take. You'd be mad not to have Erling Haaland. I can't hate on that.
No, his record speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I like him, but
Ollie wanted him.
yeah,
Glazers didn't back him.
but I always find with Ollie when he did it, he was a bit when he came out and said that he basically just said all the best players. Well, I told him we should buy them.
Yeah, but he's got a trusting face, Ollie, hasn't he?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you would buy a used car off him, wouldn't you?
Too right. I did it was a free wheeler. But yeah, he was like, yeah, I told him we'd get him. The one that he said was he got Bellingham in the building, didn't he? And he said he got all the captains to come in, and Roy Keane didn't.
Yeah, Roy Keane didn't.
Cheers, Keano.
Cheers, Keano.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. But
Yeah.
Bellingham's not really what we need, but one of them, you'd take him, wouldn't you?
Well, that's it. It's like Haaland's not what we need, but you'd have him in your squad. It's not what we need right now.
We need Valverde. That's who we need from Real Madrid.
3 points next week.
3
City,
points
that'd help. But yeah, I think there's some tough games coming up. But how do you think we're going to get on against City and Arsenal back to back?
Well, I'm going to predict 2 draws.
2 draws.
2 draws, 2 Desmonds, back-to-back Desmonds, 2-2s. But that's because every time I predicted United to win recently, we've drawn, and every time I predicted us to lose, to draw, we've won. So
it's your fault.
It's my fault. Yeah.
Yeah. I think City's going to be a tough game. I am optimistic by saying 1-0 that we'll win 1-0, and I think that's just blind faith and hope rather than tactical mouse there.
Have you done your finalysis ratings for the game yet?
For Brighton?
Yeah.
No, I have not done my finalysis for Brighton yet, but I assume it's going to be awful. I can't bring myself to write them.
I can't bring myself to write it at the moment, but it's just when you hover the finger over the number, every time I just end up marking Dalot down. Every time I'm being a shitbag here, but this time he's getting a 30.
He's getting a 30.
He's getting a 30.
What's the lowest you've rated anyone on finalysis so far?
Amarin, I rated him 1.
Did you 1?
Yeah, I rated him 1 in the derby. Yeah.
Oh really? Yeah.
I was really fucked off with that.
Yeah.
But I wasn't Amarin out. I wasn't someone calling for his head, but I thought there was some games where he was just, his in-game management was fucking shit.
Yeah, it was pretty
so bad.
Awful. It's so bad.
So bad. So very bad.
Yeah.
We'll edit out the swearing.
Yeah, we'll fucking sort that in a bit. Just go back to Amarin then. We got rid of Amarin. We're now coming in. Do you think now that with the change of managers, interim stuff, we've rocked the boat too much and we're kind of putting Champions League more at jeopardy?
Champions League jeopardy, like we're gonna go in and win it. We're gonna go in and
no, just apply for it.
Just apply for it. Yeah, it's just. I think this Premier League season has been so topsy-turvy, so up and down. You would have never said at the beginning of the season Maresca's getting sacked from Chelsea. You know, he beat PSG in the Club World Cup final, you know, the Mickey Mouse Club World Cup final, you know, for $200 billion, you know what I mean? Like,
Handed to you by Donald Trump, no less.
yeah, handed to you in a black paper bag.
I'd take a Carabao off Osama bin Laden right now.
Yeah. Oh my days.
But no, I think,
Does he play right back?
you know, no, I've been awful. The season has been topsy-turvy. The last 2 managers of the month have both been sacked.
Yeah.
Which is an insane stat. I don't think that's ever happened before.
What do you think over the next 2 games, though? I've told you what I think, but you've not said.
I was still like, yeah, I got a bit sidetracked with Osama bin Laden. Sorry, not the first time I've said that. But I think for me, I think we've got 4 points out of it in there. I think we can get 4 points.
Oh, Jeffy, you've made me feel so.
Do you know what?
Joe, this is like a therapy session for me. I'm coming away. I drove down here, right, and now I'm gonna get back in my car, like, and I'm gonna go home, pick up a kebab on the way home, and I'm gonna feel good about myself.
Gonna listen to me Paradise, but I'm fucking whistling on the way home. I'm gonna put it down. I'm gonna say it now. Clip it up now. Next 2 games.
Please put a mill point. Please music.
4 points against them, I'm telling you.
4 points.
And I can't wait to be here next week going, I think you can get 4 points in one game after we've been beaten by City.
Oh, God. Yeah, but let's hope let's hope the lads put in a fucking shift, you know? Come on, circle the wagons. Let's get in there.
Well, it would be the most Manchester United thing to ever Manchester United, where we've lost and we've dropped points over the last 2 months, and as soon as we get 2 big games we come out with 6 points. That wouldn't, if that actually happened, it wouldn't surprise me as much as you'd think.
Just like Ollie said, mountains are there to be climbed.
Yeah, and then got sacked not long after.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. That was PSG.
I know, that was first like
He's ruined my moment.
Yeah. So it was
the clip.
See, I would be, well, we were cut before, I thought. But yeah, it was me being all positive, saying we'll get 6 points. So
yeah, you kind of like, it's
like serotonin, less my body weight. So
it's like the therapist that sort of builds you up and then knocks you back down just before you go out, so you have to come back.
Yeah. Well, obviously, we'll start wrapping up a little bit. We've got some more news with the Dong Fangzhou situation.
We have got news for with Dong Fangzhou.
Tell me about your Dong, Brad.
So Dong is on his way to Manchester. Dong is on his way to Manchester. Dong is coming to Manchester. So there we go.
Is that all we know? So
that's all we know so far. I'm not telling you the rest because you're going to get...
We need a Dong tracker. Do you know, like Chris?
We need
the Central.
Yeah. Well, what happened was Royal Mail tried to pick him up, and then they tried to deliver him at the wrong address, and he's
every parcel. He's out by the bins. Well, interesting. Well, there's been more update on that later on. But as always with us, we'll start wrapping it up. If you're watching, thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for sticking with Man United. Give us a like and subscribe. We're really seeing these subscribers go up on YouTube, so we want to push that even more. So give us a follow, give us a like, give us a share, do all that kind of good stuff. And tune in next week when we'll be halfway to United's 6 points against Arsenal.
And following on our Fanalysis as well. You know, you download the Fanalysis app as well, and subscribe to the Busby podcast, and then let's all join share the love. Yeah.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Football, by the hell.
This is the Virgin Dream. Will you please welcome